Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again. Good to be continuing a single player playthrough on 1.1. So, if you weren't here last time, we had pretty much gotten finished with the AI Limiters factory and the Control Rods factory, the two factories that share the same building essentially at the base where the train stations are. We got the trains bringing the material in, we've got everything belted, we've got everything powered, as well as we've got most of the outer structure completed. So today's plan is to finish up the outer structure and then get started on the next factory, which is going to be the radio control units. So getting those, getting this factory finished and then starting the next one should be good. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. Alrighty then, and here we are. Back in our world. I decided to come in at night as well because the way this build looks at nighttime is so good. All the lights and stuff like that. It looks pretty fancy. And also like too how we got the dark spots. The dark spots in each build that makes it look like it's flooring. Like we got floors and stuff in there. Like these are windows, and then the color of the lights coming through the windows. I don't know of anybody that would have blue light like this, but, you know, the yellow light at least somewhat makes sense, right? Right? No? Okay. Yeah, everything around here has got lighting on it, and it's beautiful. It's like a little city we got going on here. But we got to be careful, though. We can't build too much in this area, because then it becomes unbearably laggy. Like, you think it's laggy now, wait until we get to... If you think it's laggy now, watch Season 3, the end of Season 3. There was parts of that city build where it was less than 10 FPS because it was so bad. Excuse me. I need to build there, sir. Alright, well, might want to turn away for this. Alrighty, after I spread a little bit of holiday cheer, he decided to leave. He's gone. Yeah, he ran off. He decided that a snowball fight was not worth the effort to stay in that area to annoy me. He's like, yeah, I'm out of here. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and finish up this build. So that we don't put down big old bases all the way to the ground for most portions of this build. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put it up on, well, essentially what is stilts. Steel stilts. I think it'll work. It'll work pretty good this way. We'll put that like that. Now we have done stuff like this in the past, so it's not like it's a really big. It's not an all that big of a deal, I guess. I just gotta be careful because I keep losing power. Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of lag going on. Yeah, this area is starting to become a little bit of a lag fest just because of how much is going on and how much is here. So it makes sense. It really does. Like I think even with a normal PC setup, this would also lag too. I mean, look at all the stuff we've got just in this small area, and we're not even close to done with this game yet. We still got Phase 5 to work on, boy. Are we in for some interesting times when it comes to Phase 5. Yeah, we got a lot to accomplish. We're gonna do that. Alright, then we should be able to vertical this up, put it like that. And then we're gonna make this, we're gonna follow this corner here after our autosave freezes our game. There we go. Go ahead, freeze our game. See if I care. Okay, so we're going to take a painted beam. We're going to go to the middle of our foundation here. And drag it, put it into freeform mode. And then we're going to put it to this other corner right in the middle. Should get a decimal point number usually. Then you're going to aim towards the middle of the beam that you just placed. Hit the H key, nudge it over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then nudge it in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to place that for now. And then we're going to grab another one, put it on this edge, and then we're going to hit the H key and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. We're going to delete the beam because we no longer need it. And we're going to hit this. Oops. Okay. Get this, hit the middle key, and then vertical it downwards. And vertical it downwards. And there we go. That's how we follow the corner around perfectly. Because this is all on a... this building is built on a grid of its own, so I can easily follow it. But yeah, you can use that method to put together two foundations that are almost exactly the same height. They got to be very, very close anyway, if not exact, you know. But you can use that method to put together two different angles perfectly. Now, it doesn't show it here because it's not I mean, it might look exactly perfect. It's pretty close with this type of foundation. But when it comes to the concrete foundation and the coated concrete foundation, those two, when you put them together like that, it forms a perfect corner with no lip. You know, it doesn't give you any back talk when you put it together like that. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. And I definitely do like it. And it's not, I did a 45-degree angle here, but it's not just 45-degree angles, it's any angle. Two different foundations that are at two different angles, putting them together like that, it makes for a perfect corner. And I figured that was going to be an issue. Stupid nodes. I don't know why you can't build over the nodes, these little ones. I understand the big ones, but the little ones, I mean, you could build right over the top of the big ones too, I guess. But these little ones, that's kind of the only restriction there for building that, and of course over the top of creatures if it's clipping into the creature itself. You can't just like place a foundation on top of a creature that locks it in place like that, unfortunately. It doesn't work that way. You know what? Gonna... Boop. There we go. Kind of want a little bit of space in between the foliage and the build itself. But yeah, we just got to put this foundation on. And then the other thing that we got to do, let's go up for a bit. The other thing I think I'm going to make these one taller. I think just slightly taller, and that'll get the exact look I was going for. I do have the crystal oscillators to make it happen, so, because these are the large billboards. Between here, you can see it, the large billboard. And then basically these billboards are exactly the same. But what I've done is these billboards on the bottom are upside down, and then the billboard right above it is right side up. So then it gives that line look, and then we got the gradient as part of that. So here's the setting for that. You got the vertical gradient, and then you've got the colors. So the top color is what's going to be on the bottom, and then there are the top two colors. See, these two colors, I believe it's the middle one is the one that's this. The top one doesn't matter. But yeah, this gradient right here. I wish you could set like all three, like it gradients from the top one to the bottom one, and the middle gradient you could have whatever you like. Which you know, if we did like say, hold on, let's not ruin this. So let's put this down for a second. Oop, of course. But what I'd want to have happen, but let's say I wanted red in here, like this. Whoops. That was that's not what I wanted. Control C, Control V, set that. But let's say, yeah, I want red as this one. I want it to gradient from red down here to yellow to blue. That's what I want, is have that gradient in between. Or if you select a vertical gradient, if they don't want that, if you select vertical gradient, it gets rid of the color that you don't need as an option. That would probably be the best way to handle that. But anyway, so with this particular build right here, we do got to put in a wall. I think I'm going to do a double door because these are both electronics. These are both very sensitive electronics. So maybe we want like a, I don't think these exist in real life, but like a what do they call it? Oh, a D-static chamber. Does that make sense? Does anybody? No? Okay. A de-staticking chamber. A de-electrifying chamber. I don't know what to call it. Or they probably do exist, actually. I don't know. Maybe they got some special room. I know they got a special, like, sealed room that you go in, like when you're working with electronics, you go in, and it's like a decontamination chamber. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. Not for this particular build, but that's what I was just looking for. But yeah, little decontamination chamber that you walk in. We'll grab some of these. Give me this. Yeah, decontamination chamber, basically. Yeah, I want that up in the corner like that. So we get the lumens going on. Yeah, decontamination chambers are usually pretty lit. There we go. Get a little bit of lighting going on. And then, ooh, you know what we could do? Just for some quick little decoration piece. Well, if it's rotated like this, you can't see inside of it, so... Oh, but you would be able to see it from the bottom, right? Because it's only a 1 meter foundation. It'd be nice if they had some smaller fans too, to kind of help out with that. All right, here's what we do then. We go organization, and we grab ourselves we grab logistics, and we grab ourselves a wall hole. And then we get ourselves a wall, of course. Actually, yeah, let's steelify. Yeah, let's get rid of these for a second. That's actually a really good idea. No, not that one. No, just as long as we have one remaining. Let's grab ourselves a wall. Grab ourselves a steel wall, even. And then... it'll stick outside, but actually that's not too bad because it ties in the doors. There we go. No, not that way. Okay, and then we go to logistics and grab ourselves a little pipe wall hole. Why did I grab the wrong one? There we go. And then we'll go... And no, that's too shiny. Okay, we need traffic yellow. That's what we need. Yeah, so that you know they're here. Yeah. Yeah, that ain't too bad. You can't center it. Oh. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. There we go. So a little decontamination chamber to, make sure you're clean when you come in here. We've got electromagnetic control rods coming down the little inspection line. Now, of course, normally this is supposed to be a Mark 1 belt, because well, we could do a Mark 1 belt because of the export speed, but at the same time, we could do a Mark 1 belt for the decoration. But unfortunately, when it comes to doing that, that means these would be Mark 1 belts, and when I go to upgrade to Mark 6 in Phase 5, then I'm going to be looking on the map trying to figure out, okay, where did my my Mark 6 stuff, figuring all that. Oh yeah, so also on this side we've got to so we're going through these doors here. We've got a roof on this one, but if we go into this side here, there we go. Over here's the AI limiters with this particular factory. I don't normally put two factories together like this, but I figured for this one it was appropriate just because of there was a lot of factors that went into doing this. This one's the AI limiters. But the reason I put these two factories together is not because they share a common resource or because one feeds the other. Because over here we've gotten rid of the AI limiters need. We're using the electromagnetic control rod, the electromagnetic connection rod, using high-speed connectors rather. And this one over here, the AI limiters, they're just using the standard recipe, but they don't share a resource, and they also don't feed one into the other. So that is the reason why we can put these two factories right up against each other, is because they don't, one doesn't feed the other. Normally, I would say no factories can be attached like this or touched like this just because of that. There is only one factory on this entire map that breaks that rule, and that was a long time ago, so we're going to ignore that. We're just going to ignore that one entirely. So you got a problem with it, too bad. I'm kidding, of course. But at the same time, it is kind of too bad because I do what I want, but for the most part, we've adhered to the rules. I do need to put the power. That's the other thing I need to do, is get the power to these. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a power connector. Yeah, we'll do Mark II. Mark II wall connector. Put a wall connector there, and then we come through the wall. And did I put it in the middle of the... Actually, you know what I could do? I'm going to do it this way. There we go. Now, I'm not going to place this, but I want to see where it comes out at. Okay, so right there. All right, now that I know where it comes out, I can do this. And then what we do, run this through the wall to connect them. Boop. Perfect. And what I'll do is I'll grab ourselves a Mark II pole. And we'll put the Mark II pole here. And then one right here. And then one right there. All right. Okay, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna connect it on the inside before I do anything else. Oh, that's perfect. Take that up to the ceiling mount. And then put that right there. Okay. Alright, and since those are connected, now what we can do, disconnect our elevator and then run that there. And then we go back in here to check, and yep, we still have power. Good, good. And that's the proper way to connect that power. I know you can hold control on the line to do an attachment point, but I like to put the attachment point first and then do that. So just personal preference. All right, so basically now that we know what we're going to be doing, I'm going to go ahead and probably skip the next part and get all of this build done so we can move on to the next factory. So let's just do a little bit of a, do a little bit of a jump forward in time here. So see you in a few hours. Okay, so I think I've got everything done for both factories. So we got a roof on both of these now, and they both have this little chamber that we wanted as well, which that just goes up like that on both sides. Also, I did expand the tower up one more just to give it a little more height, give it be a little bit more profound as well from a distance, especially. I don't know if you'll see the color from a very far distance, but you'll definitely see the tower itself. So, yeah, and we've got power in there. Also, the other thing I did, of course, we talked about this as well, is, so I got power to each of these, which look good. But I also did the supporting structure underneath so that it is on the ground. It doesn't look like it's floating anymore. Also, the last thing that I did, let's go here, is now we have power to be able to get up to the top of the roof. I was going to put in an elevator, but I was just like, it's not really necessary anymore, just because Yeah, you can fly up this. So I've got these little connections every wall section here on the inside, and then we've got a roof on top of each one of these, so it does so that way it does seal off the top as well, so it's not just a so these buildings are a little bit, they're definitely a facade, but I wanted to not make, I didn't want them to look like a facade from the top or from different angles and stuff like that, so they'll definitely look like full structures. And if we ever need any more, like say we need like electromagnetic control rods times 100, I'm sure we'll be able to fit that many in that. And same with the AI limiters as well. If we ever need to expand it crazily, expand it in numbers, like we go from needing to make 25 to needing to make 2,000 or something like that, then we definitely have the room to expand that. So, but anyway, with that though, that does make this factory completed. So we're going to leave this factory in its current state, which is I would say is pretty done. It's pretty much done as well. So we can definitely move on to the next factory. In any case, just for one more look, if you haven't seen the numbers that we're working with, there's the numbers for those, and there's the numbers for those. And then we got our light controller here. As you can see, we got our train stations down here and everything else. Now this train is yeah, it's definitely empty. I'd imagine this right here is going to keep emptying because the train doesn't come back with anything in it. That's going to take a while to back up. Once the electromagnetic control rod's back up fully, then we'll be done with that. But it is going to take a while because, like I said, we're only making 25 per minute. So yeah, it is going to take a while to back all these up. But we've got the uploaders, we've got the sinks for when we want to start turning stuff back on and start earning even more tickets. I mean, we're still earning tickets, just at a very, very slow rate at the moment. And it's the same with this side with the AI limiters. The AI limiters are making the same amount as well. As you can see there, we've got all these AI limiters going into the uploader, and then of course we got the sink. So that works pretty good there. And I think the other reason as well that I did a single sort of platform for the train stations and then built the factories kind of next to each other as well is just because we really didn't need a whole heck of a lot. Like if you go up to 100% clock speed, which is what the machines are at when you first put them down, we would only need 5 assemblers. And assemblers don't take up that much room. Now having 5 manufacturers takes up quite a bit more room than that. So it's just like, yeah, we could definitely add some extra to this particular factory. So yeah, the factories don't feed each other, and the factories are technically 2 separate factories because, well, the towers are. But yeah, it is 2 separate factories. They're just attached at the bottom, and they look like they're the same building, just different colors. So yeah, I mean, and it's another one of those. It's another one of those factories in the factory line that's kind of, it's not really substantial either. I mean, it is the prerequisite to a lot of other factories, but you know, it's not really, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not really all that important, I should say. But anyway, now we have gotten those done. We can definitely move on to the next factory, which is going to be radio control units. And we're going to tee off from this particular section right here. And we'll have to slope down as well because of how high the rail line is up here. And we definitely go on this side too, but I'm trying to, as I said before, I'm trying to keep all the factories on the inner portion here. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But basically this, like I said, this factory is going to be radio control units. Because the radio control units are going to lock the ability to make the pressure conversion cubes, and the pressure conversion cubes factory is already made. It's just waiting for, well, radio control units, because pressure conversion cube, I do believe this is the only recipe for it. Yeah, so it's only got one recipe, which is radio control units. So, and whatnot. And if we open this in context, or open this in, sorry. I don't know what the heck I was thinking there. But codecs. That's the word I meant. But yeah, we're also going to be using radio control units for the turbo motor if we want to use that. However, the turbo pressure motor would be really good too. But I do have a factory that's specifically a specific designed factory for this particular build that I want to build as well. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, radio control units, that's going to be the next particular factory. This particular factory, I've been kind of bouncing around the idea of building either like a giant radio or building like maybe we go with a radio tower. I think a radio tower could also look pretty cool. And then have the machines inside. This one also is going to be a manufacturer no matter what, so we're going to be dealing with that. Yeah, the radio control units is probably going to have to wait. I mean, if we do the radio connection unit, I don't know if we selected that last time, but if we do the radio connection unit, then what we can do, actually that would be the best recipe for this. What we can do is we can use the high-speed connectors to make it. I think that's what I get the high-speed connectors for. That's why I'm making so many, I think is the reason why. We just need quartz crystal and then yeah, the radio connection unit sounds like a really good recipe as well. Yeah, because the other one needs, it makes less, but at the same time it needs less. It needs way less. Like, it needs 2 high-speed connectors and then 4 cooling units, or 4 whatever the heck they're whatever the heck those are. Yeah, that would be a pretty good recipe. I don't know if I did that one. Doing this one, yeah, we do use up our rubber factory, but the aluminum casings, and then yeah, we would have to wait for the crystal oscillators. The crystal oscillator factory, this particular one, like what else are they used in? Yeah, the regular radio control unit. This one says it doesn't need rubber. Hold on. Oh, that's the alternate. That's right. Never mind. Yeah, you got the regular radio control unit, then you've got this one. We could also go with this one too if we make that particular factory. But yeah, the crystal oscillators looks like they're going to be used in phase 5 for a particular thing. If we don't use them here for the radio control unit, we can use them for whatever's in phase 5. Because we're not going to be using them in crystal computers or anything like that, because we've already got that factory set up. So maybe the crystal oscillator factory would be better to make. And then make the radio control unit later on, because then we can decide, right? But yeah, the crystal oscillator factory, that was kind of the only one that was kind of on the side type of factory. Definitely. Not really sure. I don't know what I want to do. Oh, you know what these are for? These are for the other oscillator, the oscillator, like the matrix thingy. I forget what it's called. They have that in phase 5. So yeah, maybe we'll save, or we'll make the crystal oscillator factory, but we'll save that for those particular, we'll save that for that particular type of thing. We'll save them for the phase 5 builds, and then use the we'll use the alternate radio connection unit, because we're not really using a whole lot of quartz crystal. And then high-speed connectors, it depends on how many the high-speed connectors need, whether I go with that or not. If I don't go with that, then we're gonna also need the crystal oscillator factory to support that. And the crystal oscillators, we're gonna be using the insulated ones, which are gonna use quartz crystal and rubber. because we're not using cable. And that's also what all the AI limiters are going to be for as well. Yeah, well, it seems like we got a choice to make. Either radio control units can be here or they can be over there. The radio control units would probably serve better over there, particularly. I got to be very careful with that area, though, because I also need to put it in... Oh, no, I already got a T-junction there. Yeah. Maybe we do the Crystal Oscillator Factory. Maybe that's the next one. Do the Crystal Oscillator Factory, then we could do the radio control units, and then that wipes out pretty much all of the factories other than supercomputers. Because the supercomputers... Are we ready to make supercomputers yet? We are. Yeah, we're ready to make supercomputers, which we're going to be using the normal recipe. I mean, we could use this one as well, the OC, the OC supercomputer, which uses assemblers, but we already decided we were going to use that. The super state computer, I'm not really a fan of because we'd have to do batteries. I wonder if batteries get used in. No. Batteries are only used in the super state computer, so there's no reason to make batteries whatsoever anymore. That kind of sucks. I like to make a battery factory. The super state computer using batteries, but we'd need to make a battery factory then. Yeah, I wanted to make a battery factory, but oops, sorry. Just bumped my mic there. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something to think about as well. So much stuff to think about. I think we just go with the radio control unit, maybe. Just go with our standard plan of the radio control unit. Okay. Well, in any case, we do need to build a factory, and we're going to have 4 train stations no matter what, pretty much, I think. So, yeah, basically I need to build the T-junction in here, and then, yeah, we're going to have to slope down with another, what did I call it? 2-meter slope, a 2-meter slope style, and then we'll build a factory right here. So, yeah, I got to get that together. I got to get the T-junction built and then get the platform built as well over the top here, over the top of the landscape here, just so we can even get started on that particular build. Either of them. Crystal oscillators. Crystal oscillator would probably be the better one, just because there's no prerequisites that we need for any of the recipes. Yeah, there's no particular one that we don't already have all the prerequisites for. So yeah, let's go Crystal Oscillator Factory, I think. Crystal Oscillator is going to need quartz no matter what. We're going to use obviously we're going to use the insulated one, so I think Crystal Oscillator Factory would be the better one. So the base would have the computer, or have the train stations in it. And then we'll have to do something special at the very top. I mean, we could definitely do a factory that kind of has a rounded shape to it. We could definitely mimic that right there. Yeah, doing the disc. Yeah, we could definitely make that happen. All right, I think Crystal Oscillator is the next one that we're going to be using. I just need to figure out what we're going to be using these for. So let's make that happen. Alrighty then, and there we are. So we finally have our platform down with all of our train stations and stuff like that, with our train lines all connected and all of our signals in place. Which I decided to go like this for a wider, more boxy style, because the Crystal Oscillator is square. And then on top of that, I don't exactly know what we're going to do, but I know I want to do something round. Something round like the Crystal Oscillator, like the disc. It looks like a futuristic, it looks like a futuristic disc reader, where the disc is just sitting there spinning in the open air. and inside the little things that kind of hold it in the center, those got like little readers in there, you know, something like that. That's what it reminds me of, though. It reminds me of like a open air disc reader. I remember back in the like way back when it was like the Xbox 360 days. I had an old Xbox 360 arcade, and I wanted it to look cool. So what I did was I cut a hole in the top of the casing where the actual disk drive was, and then I took the disk drive and I took it apart and took the outer shell casing and I cut half of it off, other than the centerpiece where it holds the disc in place. I cut the front half of it off, that where you could see it, and then put that back together, and then put it back in the 360 into the 360 arcade, and then I put that back together inside the casing, and then with the casing you could actually see the disc spinning in there. And then on top of that, I took a piece of plexiglass and cut it out so it fit just beyond the hole that I cut. And then yeah, you could see like the disc spinning in there. And I put some like little LED lights so that it lit up the disc at nighttime. So when you turned it on, you can see you can see the disc spinning inside the Xbox. Though it's pretty cool. Of course, just that destroys your Xbox essentially as far as value goes. But yeah, I had one of those. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool though. I mean, as long as you didn't cut too much off from the portion that in the exact center that holds the disc in place. As long as you didn't cut too much off the disc, it wouldn't bother the disc at all, just for you to see it spinning there. Which is actually pretty cool, so. But anyway, enough of my ramblings there. So yeah, this is going to be the crystal oscillator factory. We're going to be using the insulated crystal oscillator recipe, which let's go ahead and go to our organization. We're going to go to our 2-meter sign, and I'm going to throw it roughly here. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put the elevator yet, so it's a manufacturer. So we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. Okay, and then we grab our little 0.5 meter signs here. Do that. So we're going to be making. Hold on. Let's. I'm going to put in 0 per minute, and then yeah, just going to do that, and that. Then this one, we change the layout of this one like that. This one we change the layout like that. And this one we change the layout like that. And actually, yeah, this one's actually correct. We don't have to change that at all. Change this one. No, change the icon over to equipment. No, parts. No, buildings. That's it. Yeah. Type in man for manufacturer. Okay, so it tells us manufacturer. We need 10 of them. We're going to be changing this icon to the crystal oscillator. And we're going to be making 20 per minute there. So that's how many crystal oscillators we're going to make per minute with this recipe. We're going to be making 20. I know that the insulated cable does not make an exact amount, but we're going to be making 20. And I'm actually going to slightly overclock the manufacturer so that they make 20. Or so that they make 2, sorry. Because if they're making 1.875, it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous number to try and math out. So we're going to slightly overclock, and I do mean slightly. I think it's like 108%, slightly overclocking the manufacturer. So actually, we're gonna need to find out anyway. So we're going to do production manufacturer. Go to manufacturer. We're going to scroll down to the insulated crystal oscillator. We're going to throw in an overclock, and I'm going to just type in the bottom here 2. Hit the enter key. 106%. So I was slightly off. 106.6667% is the clock speed, but that gives us 2 crystal oscillators per minute, 20 quartz crystal per machine, 14 rubber per machine, and 2 AI limiters per machine. This is going to use up 20 out of our 25 AI limiters that we're going to be using. So that is going to be our factory there. Now, I'm not going to send out the train to go and get AI limiters for a little while. I want that train to back up fully before we send a train to go and get and take out all the AI limiters in that train station. I definitely want to have a little bit of a buffer, so we're going to have to wait on that particular thing for a little while. It's either that or we go and get all of our crystal oscillators from the hub and throw them in the train station over here, which actually might not be a bad thing to do because we do have a temporary machine we were feeding over there at the hub. We had a machine that we were temporarily feeding for AI limiters because you need AI limiters for the smart splitter and a few other like little build things. So, but we can send out quartz crystal. That's going to be the first thing on the list. I'm going to type in. It'd probably help if I... Oh, that's not even the right one. There we go. Probably help if I was in the correct category. Okay. So I'm actually going to do that for that. That way we're in the correct category. So quartz crystal, then rubber. And the reason we're using rubber is because we're using up all of our cable pretty much per minute that we're making right now, so I don't want to have to mess with that. Oh, we're still not even in the right category. Just give it a sec. There we go. Parts. All right, rubber. And then what was the last one? AI limiters. That's right. Select AI limiter. Okay. All right, so then the calculation is... we're making 20. Yeah, so... All right, 200 quartz crystal per minute. That's easy to do. I believe we can supply that very easily. Then it's rubber. Okay. There we go. That is 140 rubber per minute. We have a rubber factory that we're not even hardly using, so... What did I say? 140. That's it. So 140. And then the AI limiters is going to be 20. Because it's 1 per. At that clock speed. And then we're going to be making 2 per minute per machine. There we go. 2 per minute per machine. Okay, so then that tells us that, that tells us exactly what we need to do, and we don't have to keep looking at our notes, essentially. Keep looking at our calculations. We just have it all here. All right, so we're going to go from... Yeah, we'll go from right to left, I suppose. All right, so quartz crystal is going to be, if I remember right, it's purple and blue. Or is it purple and black? It might be purple and black. Yeah, let's do purple and black. No, let's do... Well... I think that's the color... I don't remember, actually. I think purple and blue will definitely work. Because of the tray. Oh my gosh, that purple is a little bit assaulting on the eyeballs. I forgot. So yeah, and I'll get the rest of those trains set up later. Unfortunately, though, we are out of time for this episode, so we're going to have to leave it here. So next time, we'll continue to work on this. We'll get the base built and maybe even start putting in some machines or getting some blueprints for some machines done as well. So yeah, we'll get all the rest of the trains going and get the rest of the get the factory started as well next time. Get the base layout, get some blueprints made so we can start building this factory and getting it making stuff as well. So that way we can continue onwards. I think the only other like very preliminary factory is definitely going to be radio control units as well later. But yeah, this actually kind of fit pretty nicely in here. Very snugly up against the train tracks here. Yeah, looks good though. So, yeah. But like I said, unfortunately, though, that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.